So this is something that I did as well as a student, and it's actually you don't want to approach it this way at all, because you're going to get the problem you said where um, basically you're ruining your key poses because you're moving everything down. So for instance, if you can see my timeline, see I've got a key basically every two, like just in this animation I've got a key every 2 frames. So I've got pose, 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 pose. Like I'm building the overlap, well, building in the offset into the animation with good posing. What you're talking about, you don't really need to do until like, it's something that, let's say you were animating overlap on hair. You've got a piece of hair that's flopping around and you've animated one going like this, and then you can copy the keys, paste on the next joint, and then offset, and that's a quick way of getting some overlap. But over time, I mean, it's a quick way and it looks okay, but it's not perfect. When I'm offsetting, if I offset keys, I'll only offset things by like a frame or two, like, and only in one axis. It's for very specific reasons, but I don't do it early on in the animation like this. Actually, for this piece of animation, because I'm trying to do it in more of an anime style where it's going to stay in stepped, I can't do it at all. So I would encourage you not to delay and offset keys until much later when you're actually in polish phase. If you feel like you're not getting the overlap and things that you need, then I think you need to look at the poses that you're using and make sure that you pick and build that overlap and offset into the poses. So a good example of this here is the arm, right? So if you look at this arm here, both of the arms actually, the arm is actually leading the movement. So maybe it's better to see from this angle. So this left arm is driving forward, and it's actually reaching the up position before the body starts to move. So it comes up and then up there, and the body then follows through afterwards. Like building this into the poses, like you could, I know there's a world where you could have, you could put the pose like this, and then a pose like this, and a pose like this, and then you could delay or you could take the keys and shift them down so the arms go quicker than the arm would reach the end position first. But you don't want to do that because you're sculpting a pose and then you're destroying your pose by moving the keys. I hope what I'm saying to you kind of makes sense. But I wouldn't rely on that as a tool to make your animation work better. It's something I would do later on when you get to a polished stage. The key is really to start building good poses and building these little details into the poses and keeping it really simple. Yeah, I did exactly the same thing as a student. I saw a tutorial and, oh, here's how you just offset the keys and then it makes it work and look cool, and you're like, yay, it's easy. But it doesn't work like that.